everyone, we're going to solve for all values of x, and we have two functions here all over the interval 0 to 2 pi, and they're both inequalities. So the first one, we have sine of x is less than or equal to cosine of x. The best way to look at that is the graph. So we're looking at this graph number 1 here, and what we're going to do is see where sine of x, my sine of x is the red one, and they intersect at these 45-degree angles here. So these are the intersections here. All right, so basically, where is sine of x lower on the graph than cosine of x? And the red graph is lower from 0 here to pi divided by 4. So that would be 0 is less than or equal to x is less than or equal to pi divided by 4. And then from here, it's above the green line. Cosine is the green. And then it gets lower in here. So there it is lower. So that's going to be between 5 pi divided by 4. And it can equal it. So we can put equals here. X and then 2 pi. All right. So now that we have that, let's go on to the second one. We want to know where this is going to be greater than or equal to 0. So what we want to do is write this, it's a quadratic. So we want to write this as 2, use this color 2, and write everything in terms of cosine. Since this cosine is linear, let's write this one as 1. Using your Pythagorean identities, cosine squared of x minus 3 cosine of x is greater than or equal to 0. All right, so simplifying this, we're going to get negative 2 cosine squared of x. We'll multiply those two, minus 3 cosine of x. And then we have 2 times 1 is 2, and so that's going to be plus 2. It's greater than or equal to 0. All right, also, let's go ahead and negate this because I don't like to lead with this negative. So if you negate all this, you get 2 cosine squared of x plus 3 cosine of x minus 2, and you have to flip this sign, less than or equal to 0. All right, so we can factor this as 2 cosine of x minus 1 times cosine of x plus 2 has to be less than or equal to 0. Now, for this one, we're going to have cosine of x is going to be less than or equal to 1/2. This one you can't do because cosine of x plus 2 always has to be positive. So this one we just disregard. So basically, we're going to have cosine of x is less than or equal to 1/2. All right. Since, let's look at this some more. Since we have negative 1 is less than or equal to cosine of x is less than or equal to 1, and we also have cosine of x has to be less than or equal to 1/2, then I'm going to change this to 1/2 because it has to be less than or equal to 1/2. So basically that's going to be negative 1 is less than or equal to cosine of x, which is less than or equal to 1/2. I just changed that. So now looking at the graph, and this is going to be graph number 2, and I drew this line here, y equals 1/2, and we're looking from negative 1 to 1/2. So it's this area right here where our cosine is. And that's going to occur from pi divided by 3 to 5 pi divided by 3. Therefore, our x would have to be greater than or equal to pi divided by 3, but less than or equal to 5 pi divided by 3. All right, for our first one, that we have here, both of these have to go together. We had x, we had 0 is less than or equal to x is less than or equal to pi divided by 4, and the other one we had is 5 pi divided by 4 has to be less than or equal to x, has to be less than 2 pi. Therefore, since we have to use all three of these, we have to minimize this. So we have to take the greatest one of these, which is 5 pi divided by 4 is less than or equal to x is less than, and then we have to take the smallest one of these. So that's going to be 5 pi divided by 3. And this will be your final answer. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.